Well, welcome back to Gadget at thetechstop.net. It's the place where it's always time to get your geek on. I'm Father Robert Balacer of the Society of Jesus. I'm a priest in the California province of the Jesuits. We're the largest religious order in the Catholic Church, and we're here again in Henderson, Nevada, taking a look at a brand new line of notebooks from Gateway. Now, this is their NV series of notebooks. It's a new line that's dedicated for those people who want something a little less expensive than one of the performance models and a little larger than one of the subcompacts. In particular, this is the NV5214. It's an AMD CPU-powered notebook for those who don't want to pay a whole lot and yet don't want to sacrifice screen size, functionality, flexibility, or style.
The NV5214u is one of the first entries in Gateway's new line of NV low-cost, mid-performance notebooks designed for back-to-school students, budget-conscious multimedia aficionados, and consumers with a balance of power and price in mind. It measures 14.6 inches wide by 9.8 inches deep by 1 inch wide and 5.2 pounds, which for a 15-plus inch notebook is still quite svelte. The NV has a 15.6-inch widescreen LCD monitor with a maximum resolution of 1366 by 768. That means that it is exactly the resolution needed for widescreen 16 by 9 1080p high-definition video. The screen is bright, evenly lit, and the ultra-bright surface is readable even in direct sunlight. It has exceptional brightness, beautifully saturated colors, and great image quality, probably because the NV series uses LED backlighting, which has the added benefit of being more power efficient than the CCFL backlight more commonly used in laptops. The screen is driven by an ATI HD3200 mobile Radeon chipset. Though not the fastest graphic part in the ATI inventory, it's far better than the integrated Intel graphics that are normally bundled with a notebook of this price. Gateway has topped off the display with a 1.3 megapixel camera that can be used for stills or video. For those into web conferencing or live streaming, Gateway has included an integrated microphone next to the camera. The Gateway NV5214u is powered by a dual-core AMD Athlon QL64, running at 2.1 GHz with a 1 MB cache. It's backed up by 4 GB of dual-channel DDR2 memory in 2 SODIMM slots. The NV5214u comes in honeycomb brown, which has a nice textured look. The left side of the NV has a Kensington lock port built into the display hinge, the power port, the Ethernet port, VGA connector, HDMI port, 2 USB ports, jacks for the microphone and headphone, and the 5-in-1 card reader. The right side of the notebook starts with the power button recessed into the hinge, an RJ11 connector for the modem, 2 more USB ports, and the tray-loaded CD-DVD burner. The NV5214u comes loaded with a 320GB 5400 RPM Toshiba SATA hard drive loaded in an easy-access caddy, a tray-mounted Super Multi-DVD dual-layer burner, and a 5-in-1 multimedia card reader that works with SD, MMC, Memory Stick Pro, and XD memory cards. Networking is provided through a 56K modem, a gigabit Ethernet port, and an integrated 802.11 BGN wireless card. The speakers are about average for a mid-size notebook. Without a subwoofer, the low end is anemic, with much of the sound shifted to the higher range, but it was just fine for personal listening. However, if you are going to be using this notebook as an entertainment center, I would definitely suggest external speakers or using the HDMI port to push your audio to a more competent sound system. Gateway included an edge-to-edge keyboard which takes advantage of the wide format of the NV. It uses chiclet keys that are both easy to find and quite sturdy, holding up to some furious typing without bowing or succumbing to the fat finger effect. The numeric keypad is a little compressed, but aside from the smaller directional arrow keys, the NV has a keyboard that is both comfortable and attractive. The touchpad and wrist rest on the NV are both well designed. The wrist rest offsets the touchpad to the left, and the touchpad itself has good sensitivity, with no lag. There is a large Gateway bar across the bottom of the touchpad, which provides 2 buttons for your mouse functions. Gateway also includes at-a-glance status lights and touch-sensitive controls at the top of the keyboard. You get a set of LEDs for hard drive activity, caps lock, num lock, and Bluetooth, then a series of indicators and touch-sensitive buttons that can launch the auto backup, activate or deactivate the wireless, disable the touchpad, and control the volume. The fan on the NV5214u complements a well-crafted airflow channel through the notebook that keeps everything cool without needing a noisy cooling solution. Power for the NV is provided by a 6-cell 4400 mAh battery that provides 48 watt-hours of juice. At full power with the CPU pegged wireless on screen at full brightness and the DVD spinning, the NV lasted 1 hour 43 minutes. With the screen dropped to 60% brightness, the CPU kept at 50%, and the wireless on, life increased to 2 hours 47 minutes. With the wireless off, brightness turned down to minimum, and the CPU only being used for word processing and light multimedia, we were able to squeeze 3 hours 35 minutes out of the battery. As for performance, the NV performed admirably, if not remarkably. In PC Mark Vantage, the NV averaged a score of almost 2600. These aren't the highest scores in this class of notebook, but they are higher than any similarly priced notebook, and this level of performance should still be more than enough for most work and multimedia tasks. Overall, the NV continues Gateway's recent hit parade of notebooks that offers an excellent price-to-performance ratio without skimping on style or durability. The NV5214u is a fine notebook for those who crave a low-budget computer but don't want to be limited by the anemic processing power or small screen of a netbook, nor the greater bulk and cost of a 17-inch behemoth. The Gateway NV series is available now. You can find most of them in your choice of 4 colors, and they come with a 1-year warranty. The price of our test unit was $499.
When shopping for a computer, there really is one central question that you need to ask yourself. And no, it's not how big is the screen, or how much memory does it have, or how fast is the processor. Those are all important questions and things that you have to evaluate. But no, the central question is this the computer for me? In other words, will it do what I have to do, and will it cost as much as I need it to cost? You could have the best computer ever made with a 19-inch screen, a lot of memory, huge hard drive, a fast processor, but if it's too expensive, it won't do you much good. On the other side, you could have an incredibly affordable computer, something with a 6-inch screen, a netbook, but that might not get what you need to get done. This is the mid-range, and this is really designed for the people who are looking for the mid-range, which is most of us. It may not be the fastest CPU out there. It may not be the smallest or the lightest notebook, but it is that really nice mid-ground that's designed well, that has a lot of style, that has a beautiful screen, a 15.6-inch screen, a very nice-to-use keyboard, more than enough hard drive space and memory, and a CPU that will keep you going through everything from word processing to web surfing to even outputting high-definition video to your home theater system through the HDMI port. Gateway did a great job of loading this up with all the features that you might want without tacking on the things that really add expense to a notebook. And for that, I commend them. That being said, this wouldn't be the notebook that I would buy. Because I actually do need a bit more power. I would be looking for something with a Core 2 Duo CPU because I do a lot of video editing, and frankly, this just wouldn't cut it. I'd be waiting too long. It is worth it for me to pay that extra $100 or $150 to get the same model with an Intel CPU, but it may not be worth it for you. Now, if you are looking for something to be that back-to-schooler, if you are looking to take something between the home and office, if you want a low-cost, sub-$500 notebook that can pretty much do everything you need out of a computer, then might I suggest you take a look at the Gateway NV5214u. You can find out more about it by going to the Gateway website at www.gateway.com, or you can go to our website at www.thetechstop.net. If you want to send me an email message, you can write me at gadget@thetechstop.net. Well, I've been Father Robert Ballister. This is Henderson, Nevada. And remember, there's no Uber Geek without you.